So, good morning everyone, and welcome to London. A lot of good things happen in London. In case you haven't noticed this year, there were the Olympics, and then we had the Paralympics, and now we have the OB10 Buyer User Group.
Eliminate. Eliminate is about, if you're in an organisation and you've got, I see many organisations and I look at some of the reports they're sending out, and you really start drilling down, you will find that a lot of those reports aren't really used. It was requested 6 or 7 years ago and no one actually uses it anymore. So it was Peter Drucker once said, there's nothing more inefficient than doing efficiently that which shouldn't be done at all. Tom Peters then looked at that and thought, that's a bit long-winded. He said, don't do stupid stuff, which is probably easy to remember. So don't do stupid stuff. Eliminate redundant activity. Simplify. If you've eliminated the redundant activity, simplify what you've got left. This is classic re-engineering, value stream mapping. Look at the process, simplify that process. Automation. This is where things like e-invoicing absolutely make sense. Why would you have paper invoices and why would you scan them and turn them into digital formats if it could be digital from the get-go? You know, automation, absolutely. Vendor portals, why would you have people answering vendor queries if they can go online and sort out the queries themselves? There's obvious automation ones.
It's a privilege to be here today. It's a privilege because I represent a business, I think, that's made enormous strides over the last 12 years to initiate and introduce e-invoicing back in the very early stages, and we have customers here today, founder customers, people like Fisher Scientific, GSK, HP, Computer Center, people that have been with us for nearly a decade that are really there and architected effectively with us our very first solution. We see invoicing, and we all saw invoicing as a process improvement change, and it is that. It transforms, it reduces cost, it's efficient, it enables things, but it enables payment on time fundamentally, and that can help your supply chain. But sometimes payment on time for small businesses where they can't get credit isn't even enough, and particularly if payment on time is 60 days or even 75 days. So the express payment solution that you're going to hear a reasonable amount about today has been launched in response to this credit environment, and it will have two facets. We'll be talking about the third-party funding model. We'll also be talking about the solution that we've partnered with Taulia. Taulia has a session in the morning tomorrow to talk about the dynamic discounting component where the treasurer can use his or her own funds. But it's a combination of this stable business that we believe we are today. We're a growing business. You'll be pleased to hear we're growing financially. We've put a lot of investment in things this year, but this is just one of the examples of things we've done to bring some innovation through.
Our ultimate goal is to push to 85% electronic invoicing. It's more than just electronic invoicing. It's compliant electronic invoicing. So as we go into all these different countries, we need to make sure that we're meeting all the tax compliance requirements, all the digital signature and local legal requirements that are there. And we found that OB10 is far and above the leader when it comes to compliance. A lot of others want to talk about compliance and they say they have it, but they don't go to the same levels that OB10 does in working with those local governmental authorities to ensure that that's taking place. And that way, we as HP, we don't have to worry about that. We don't have to go out there and do our own audits and check into it. We can rely on OB10.
So we got a request from customer, it was HP as mentioned before. 2003 to start with OB10. So that's a typical request come to us as a supplier. Some customers want to start to improve the data management, the processes. And at the moment we have 33 buyers live on OB10 with a big jump in 2010. So we have grown constantly.
First, purchase to pay, also the corporate function for purchase to pay, was in our organization belonging to finance. But it was moved beginning of May to purchasing. So now, also my job, my part, was moved from corporate finance to corporate purchasing. And we have recognized that this is very helpful, especially regarding the e-invoicing process, but also regarding other processes. It's essential and crucial to work hand in hand between finance and purchasing. We wanted a fast and smooth onboarding process, and this was also an advantage of OB10 that OB10 offer, or not only offer, they deliver this onboarding support.
In our research on supply chain financing solutions, and particularly the bank type of solutions, they are there, they have been around for quite a long time, but they tend to be focused on a few number of suppliers that have huge dollar volume relationships. So if you've got 10 suppliers who you are currently doing $2 or $3 million per year with each of them, there is a solution out there that exists today. The problem is, what I've talked about is the small businesses that don't get access to the funding. So how do we get that supply chain financing solution down to the smaller businesses? So what we've put together is based on a mass deployment model. So we're not talking about your top 10 suppliers, we're not talking about your top 50 suppliers, we're talking of your 10,000 suppliers. So everything we've put together has been built on a fully scalable basis. So it's scalable from supplier enrollment, scalable through processing, and scalable through to the available funding.
Over the years, we have become compliant in several countries, and I have to say that I'm quite proud of the list of countries that we've achieved compliance in. Simply because the approach OB10 is taking is fundamentally different from the approach that other market competitors are taking. So if you remind yourself of last year, we had a list of 37 countries roughly. So we've now extended this to 42 countries.